professor at Durham University Business School, has published a report on the work tendencies of Chinese millionaires. The report points out that nearly half of the rich people interviewed insist on getting up early, living a regular life, and working more than 13 hours a day. This data has sparked heated discussions among many netizens. After all, in the eyes of most people, the rich have a lot of wealth and can enjoy themselves to their heart's content. The poor dare not stop, let alone lie down. But the fact is that the rich are often able to endure hardships, and they are better at enduring hardships and never indulge themselves. The poor are addicted to instant gratification and can't extricate themselves. Why is this? The book, Decoding Self-Control, reveals the truth behind it. Only a self-controlled life is a successful life. The author of this book, Zhang Yuhuang, is a doctoral supervisor at Tsinghua University and one of the scholars who has published the most papers in the field of self-control research. He believes that self-control is a necessary condition for a person's success. How much money a person makes in his life and how well he lives depends on whether he can control himself. A person cannot make enough money because his self-control is not high. In Decoding Self-Control, the author emphasizes the classic marshmallow experiment. The experimenter gave a group of children a marshmallow and told them that they could eat it now or in 20 minutes. If the child chose to eat it in 20 minutes, he would continue to get the second marshmallow. As a result, 2/3 of the children could not help eating the marshmallow, and the remaining 1/3 chose to wait for the second marshmallow. After the experiment, the experimenter continued to track and investigate these children for decades. They found that most of the children who ate the first marshmallow were mediocre and accomplished nothing when they grew up. The children who waited for the second marshmallow were better in academics, more successful in their careers, and had higher social status. This shows that whether a person can make money is closely related to self-control. People who stand at the top of wealth, without exception, have self-control far beyond ordinary people. Howard, the founder of Starbucks, has insisted on getting up at 4:30 every morning for decades. While eating breakfast, he can also efficiently read 3 newspapers to keep abreast of industry information. Philip, the father of modern marketing, always carries a pen and 3 sheets of white paper with him when he goes to work. He will record interesting ideas and information on the paper at any time and summarize the notes every night without fail. They are like a clockwork clock, not slacking for a minute or a second, accumulating wealth and achievements bit by bit. On the other hand, ordinary people who can't make money often can't control themselves, let alone control their lives. Many people know that exercise is good for the body, but when the novelty of fitness is over, they don't want to continue to stick to it. They know the harm of indulging in short videos and games, but they can't resist the temptation and play with mobile phones and computers until late at night. They are full of confidence when making plans at the beginning of the year, but at the end of the year, they find that most plans are abandoned halfway. Although it seems that we have done a lot of things and are busy, we can't get rid of the fate of spinning at the bottom. Psychologist Kelly said, "Our ability to control our attention, emotions, appetite, and behavior will largely affect our health, financial security, interpersonal relationships, and career success. The gap between people mainly depends on their own self-control. People who lack self-control are like rampaging beasts, letting their desires lead them by the nose. They can't resist temptation, indulge in the pleasure in front of them, can't control their thoughts, can't concentrate on anything, and tossed to the end, they spend a lot of time and energy, but can only end up with nothing. The better your self-control, the stronger your ability to make money." Decoding Self-Control mentions another little-known discovery in the marshmallow experiment. Among the children who ate the first marshmallow, some of them have improved their self-control little by little as they grow older. They have developed endless motivation in the fierce competition among their peers and have achieved outstanding results in their studies and careers. It can be seen that self-control is not an innate talent, but something that can be learned and trained. When you learn to control yourself and give yourself deep stimulation, you can reap the gifts of life. In the book, the author mentioned that he had created a book. In order to help more young people develop good character and study habits, he plans to write a book to encourage children to study hard. The cooperating publisher hoped that he would finish it within a month, so that he could expedite editing and typesetting and launch it during the summer vacation. He panicked all of a sudden, worried that the time was tight and the task was heavy, and he would not be able to complete it on time. To this end, he joined a paid growth group and publicly stated in his circle of friends that he would finish writing 100,000 words within a month. Clear goals and external supervision prompted him to change his previous laziness and seize all his spare time to write. He got up at 5:30 every morning, wrote for 2 hours before going to breakfast, and wrote until late at night. He used the time he spent on his phone, playing games, and being in a daze on weekdays to think and create, and even wrote furiously on the plane. He was highly self-disciplined and broke through his own limits, completing the book in more than 20 days. After this exercise, his self-control has also been significantly improved. When he was free every day, he no longer spent his time doing nothing, but reading, recording inspiration, and researching new projects. Over time, his career developed better and better, and attracted more children to participate in the summer camp. I think of a sentence by Mr. Yang Jiang: "There must be a reason for people to grow. The efforts and accumulation behind it must be several times that of ordinary people." We can only stimulate our greatest potential by enduring the fatigue that others are unwilling to endure and the hardships that others do not want to endure. Psychologist Kelly compares self-control to elastic muscles, which can be developed even if they are congenitally deficient. Use the time when others are slack and procrastinate to urge your own business opportunities, and use the idle leisure time of others to improve your own ability. When your self-control is strong enough and your strength is outstanding enough, wealth will come uninvited. Cultivating self-control is to make money well. The book says that self-control is the adaptive mechanism of people selected by evolution. If you want to break the limitations of ability and achieve class leap, you must constantly upgrade your own control ability. The author also provides a lot of suggestions in the book to help us slowly cultivate strong self-control. I have selected 5 specific and feasible methods to share with you. 1. Clarify goals and make commitments in advance. The book says, Michel, the initiator of the marshmallow experiment, has been addicted to smoking since he was young. In order to quit smoking, he tried various methods, but all ended in failure. So he decided to use external forces to make his goal of quitting smoking public to all his family, colleagues, and friends. Under everyone's supervision and reminders, he aroused strong self-control and finally quit smoking successfully after a few weeks. Many people know that exercise is good for the body, but when the novelty of fitness is over, they don't want to continue to stick to it. The author calls this method pre-commitment strategy. He said, "Once we have an important goal, we will commit in advance and really go all out until we achieve the goal. If you are worried about delaying your study plan, you might as well buy yourself a good book and sign up for a good class in advance. If you are afraid that you are habitually perfunctory at work, try to report your weekly plan and monthly goals to your leader. With a clear direction and route under the supervision of others, you will naturally be more motivated to do things. 2. Control the environment and stay away from temptation. There is a formula in the book that self-control equals self-control temptation. In other words, the best way to improve self-control is to avoid temptation as much as possible. Here are 2 tips to stay away from temptation and try to avoid direct contact with temptation. Take weight loss as an example. If you plan to control your weight, you must stay away from all kinds of unhealthy foods as much as possible. For example, don't put snacks everywhere at home. Reduce the number of dinners with friends, etc. Interference diversion strategy. Use other things to divert your attention. There is a detail in the marshmallow experiment. The reason why some children can insist on not eating marshmallows is that they imagine marshmallows as clouds. They fantasize about the blue sky, white clouds, and flying birds, diverting their attention and forgetting the existence of marshmallows. People's willpower is limited. Instead of confronting endless desires head-on, it is better to bypass them and find peace. When you stay away from dazzling temptations and avoid excessive self-consumption, your heart will become firm and powerful. 3. Learn to enjoy and reward excellence. The book says that the author did a hard work experiment. He divided a group of students into 2 groups. The first group solved simple puzzles and the second group solved complex puzzles. After the end, he gave the students 2 options: watch a movie and make comments, or fill out a lengthy evaluation questionnaire. The author concluded that people are psychologically more inclined to relax self-control after hard work. If we push ourselves too hard and put too much pressure on ourselves, we will be more likely to lose control. It is better to learn to reward our efforts with pleasure and allow ourselves to relax our tense nerves after hard work. For example, after completing our work goals, arrange a trip for ourselves. After earning an income that exceeds our expectations, take your family out for a big meal. Only by mentally relaxing and replenishing your willpower and time can your self-control system maintain a virtuous cycle. For look far ahead and think globally. Psychologist Fujita proposed the higher the level of thinking construction, the stronger the self-control will be. He conducted such an experiment. The first group of subjects was a high construction group. From a global perspective, they needed to think about why, such as why physical health is important. Why do we need to study hard? The second group of subjects was a low construction group. From a local perspective, they only considered how to do it, such as what specific methods can help people stay healthy. As a result, the first group had a stronger ability to delay gratification, while the second group tended to be instantly satisfied. This is because people who think from a local perspective can only see temporary gains and losses, while people who think from a global perspective will see through the pros and cons behind and make choices that are beneficial to the long term. So we should ask more questions when we encounter things, give examples upward, observe the overall situation, and trigger deep thinking. When your pattern is large, your vision will also become wider, and the immediate enjoyment and temporary comfort will no longer be able to easily hold you back. 5. Keep exercising and meditate. The British Journal of Health Psychology said, regular exercise will enhance people's self-control, including self-control outside the latitude of exercise. Even if you only exercise for 2 months, people will improve their restraint on daily behavior and improve their concentration at work and study. And a study in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences of the United States also found that after only 5 days of meditation, people's attention will become more focused. Anxiety, depression, anger, and fatigue levels have also decreased. From now on, take a little time every day, keep meditating, exercise regularly, pay attention to your body and heart, your state will improve, and your self-control will also improve. There is a saying in the book, one of the biggest differences between successful people and ordinary people is whether they can control themselves and keep working hard. Whether a person is rich or poor, there are reasons for it. The laziness you have been lazy about and the things you have done will sooner or later become a cage that traps you. And the suffering you have endured and the sweat you have shed will eventually become the reins of your fate. Life is a practice. Whoever can control himself and manage himself well can deserve better things. Pay attention and give a like. Learn to control yourself, delay gratification, and when you reap rich rewards, you will be grateful to yourself for working hard in the past.